Are you ready for the conversation? That's what I want to know. Are you ready for the conversation? I don't know if I am. Okay, y'all. I hope y'all having a good midday and happy Wednesday. It's the Tape to Christy Taylor Show day. While this is not the Christy Taylor Show, I just wanted to jump on here for a quick mid-afternoon virtual chat. And it is all about My Sister's Keepers. Now, if you're in Memphis, you know that Methodist Hospital has a wonderful connection with the African American communities, particularly addressing a lot of the disparity that we have in Memphis and the Mid-South region when it comes to health disparity. And they've put about 4 years ago a initiative together called My Sister's Keeper to address a lot of those concerns, really creating a network among the medical community and faith community and the community at large to address that. And throughout the year, they have something called kitchen table talk. Now, while we're not at the kitchen table, this is going to be a virtual kitchen table. And for me to come real, I had to bring on one of my sisters. This is my girl, Francine Ann Walker, all the way from the MI, Michigan. We say Detroit, but she's really in the suburbs.
Right.
Because I keep saying, am I ready for the conversation? And the truth is, I don't think I am. Because here I am. I got to give a shout out to my girl, Katrina Kimball, who 4 years ago, when I was still on WRBO, hey, what's up, everybody? Feel free to, this is live interactive, so you all can definitely drop your comments, questions. And even if you want to hey, I want to come on there and chit chat with you all, just let me know that. We're going to be on just about 15, 20 minutes just to have this virtual chat about My Sister's Keeper. And really the question that I'm asking is, am I my sister's keepers? And better yet, am I being a keeper of myself? That's been kind of like the thought I've been thinking. So Francine is on here to kind of keep me honest. Woo, because she about that life. We're going to talk about it. Now, last week I had a chance on last Monday to talk to Reverend Dr. Sarita Guffin, who works for LeBonner Methodist, a children's hospital, but also she has an important part in Sisters Keeper. She's actually been a moderator, a speaker. She's very involved in this initiative. And as again, shouting out Katrina Kimball, who 4 years ago, when they first launched it and it was still in person, she actually came to the radio station and I interviewed them in 2018, 2019, but of course, in 2018 for sure. And then at some point, when the pandemic hit, they went virtual. So instead of doing in person, they're doing virtual. And again, this is going to be a virtual summit. And what I wanted to kind of do is kind of chat it up. Hey, what's up, Nikki Gates? Hey, lady.
Hey,
what I want to do for just about 15 to 20 minutes, Francine, is talk about being our sister's keeper. Now, as I said, the whole point of this initiative is to accountability and support and encouraging each other to get great medical attention and advocate for ourselves, which is one reason why I wanted you to be, because I know you love, supporting us and encouraging self-advocacy.
Oh God, yes.
You're like,
Jesus. Absolutely. This was so apropos, even if it was impromptu, because we're not at the kitchen table, but I am cooking dinner.
What you cooking?
I'm grilling. I'm put through something on the grill, and so it'll be ready by the time my sister gets home. And so I am an advocate. I've been an advocate for not only myself, but for my mom before she passed away, as a patient in the hospital, during her care. And it's only because I know I have a voice, and why, if I don't use my voice for good, then what's the point, right? Whether it's for myself or for my sister or my brother. But for this particular venture, we're going to talk about sisters and being your sister's keeper. And one of the things I love to advocate and admonish anyone that I know is to drop the load. And it's like, well, Fran, how do you, but I'm a single mom, or I got, hey, Bryn, I'm a single
Hey,
mom. I've got
Mikey.
all this stuff going on. I can't drop the load. It's like,
This is my real sister too. Hey, what's that, Brenda Marie?
is it true? Is that really true? And
Well,
so,
okay, let's talk about that. Okay,
yeah,
like I said, am I ready to have this conversation? I gotta say, I was kind of a little hesitant, and I was trying to find ways to just interview a lot of people on my platform to promote this, for the purpose of, as you see, and it's scrolling across the bottom, it's happening this Saturday. Tickets are only $25. The keynote speaker is Michelle Williams, of Destiny's Child, who had her own trauma, who talks openly about mental health, having to check herself in. She's written a book about it. She's out here. But how can I honestly, in this moment, Francine, with all those things that have happened to me in 2021, even 2020, am I advocating? This is the self question. Am I really advocating for myself now, to the degree that I should? Where I do hermit a lot. Now we're going to have a real conversation. Like, I know, I will hermit a lot, and you'll have to call me and say, hey, you real quiet. You're real quiet. And while I might be over here being quiet and I'm not ripping and running like some people do, sometimes I'm not resting.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I may be over here by myself chilling and, but I'm stressing in my own mental way because my mind, just stays on so much.
I think it comes with making a conscious choice most times, because sometimes we do overextend ourselves. And I think the advocacy comes when you decide, like, when you keep saying you're not having the conversation, yet you are having the conversation.
Okay, I'm having a conversation.
You're having the conversation. You're having the conversation. So that is one way I advocate and admonish. It's like, change your language. Someone said something to me the other day, and it's like, well, it's just my little thing. I said, there's nothing little about your thing, so we got to change our language. It's like you're taking steps now by having this conversation and thinking about, it's prompted you to think about yourself, and it's like, ooh, so you're feeling some conviction, and
yes,
good. That is good.
Yes. Because while I have had my annual checkup and mammogram, I still feel like, but I haven't responded to the, that postcard about my colonoscopy because I'm 55 and I had it when I was 50. And I'm thinking like, oh my God, I never did get my eye exam this year, and I haven't gone to the dentist, and it's almost the end of the year. So that kind of stuff, thinking about like, am I my sister keeper? Am I advocating for my physical health? And then I stress out about it mentally and emotionally, because it's like, ooh, now I will go get dolled up, but I'm not like a go to get my hair and nails done all the time person, but I do try, self-care, pamper, drinking enough water, those are things I feel like, okay, if I get enough good sleep, I feel like I just, while I do like,
all those are part of your self-care. It's not, and I'm holding my nails because I'm holding it because I started back getting my nails done. And at first I was like, but because I do a lot of remote stuff, praise the Lord, I like, who's going to see my nails? Me. Me.
But even as we talk with our hands, people see that flash of color.
Exactly. And I hold things differently. And who's gonna see my toes? Me. So when I'm ready to be a social butterfly, because it's like, this thing is still a thing. So I'm selective about my social outings. I'm ready, right? But that's part of, like, even now, I said, because I gained weight during COVID.
Let's talk about that, because that was because you have always been my fitness guru. You have always, from when we met. Okay, so I know Francine from my Detroit years, and that means my Detroit years would have been 30 years ago, early mid-20s, and I think I was there until I was 26. So definitely, as I was entering womanhood, You were blessed to enter my life, and I was blessed to enter your life. And hey, what's up, Gigi? Yeah, we have to learn to prioritize self first, then others. Okay, read the rest of that, Francine, because I don't have my glasses on.
Okay. So Gigi is saying we have to learn to prioritize ourselves first. We do. Then others. It's hard to get to the gym, but I make an effort 4 days a week. And ladies, keep the, yes, honey. I wish I could come see you, Gigi. She says, keep the mani-pedi maintenance. And that's so true.
Now, okay, Gigi, when she was in Memphis, when I first came back from LA, this last time when I came home in 2014, that's when I met Gigi, and she became my manicurist. Now, Gigi, you can go, she know I was notorious about not coming to see her on a regular, and then she would be like, you know, and my cuticles grow very, I mean, this is a very candid kitchen talk table.
So do me a favor, if this is candid, because I've got meat on the grill.
Yes, go check it. I can.
A shot of me, of you, and then I'll come right back because I don't want to burn the meat. And my battery is low. So this is very candid. Okay. Watch out, baby. Okay. I can't hear you for some reason.
Okay, microphone check 1 2 1 2.
Okay,
microphone check 1 2. I was saying that a lot of times I think that I tend to be other focused as opposed to focusing on myself. You know, because of the circle, people in my circle. You know, like I'll get quiet and I'm like, hey, girl, what you got going on? You know, then I'll call somebody else, like, you know, and listen and let y'all, you know, unload. And I sometimes wonder, do I, well, it's not a wonder. I now know the answer. I have not deepened the love relationships that we could have because oftentimes I'm not sharing. And then you'll have to call and say, okay, I've talked enough. What's going on with you? Not that we try to be therapists to each other, but we try to be our sister's keeper.
Absolutely. And I think, you know, I think that having this conversation is a prompt, right? To ask yourself, are you doing enough? And it's going to look different in that season, in every season. Like for the longest, I didn't get my nails done. Even though that was something I used to do it's like, man, I see people, it's like nails done, hair done, you know, every other week. And then I had Kevin and it was like, and I nicked him on the chin and it was like, that was it. So then I would go back and forth with getting them done because it is making that appointment, keeping the appointment, showing up. It take a book.
But wait a minute. I have to say this though. But when I lived in Detroit and we were in our 20s, we were salon, like some people go to church all the time. We were in salons all the time. We were, and in Detroit back in the 80s, you pretty much went to work, did your hair appointment after hours, and you probably got home at 10 or 11 o'clock at night. And you did that religiously every single week. And if you were a two-timer, you did that. Plus you had your nail salon, appointment. So you were really, in our 20s, I will say we were very, very conscious of this. But we were embracing our womanhood too. We were enjoying
the fact. Young. I mean, that's the time to really be indulgent.
Yeah.
You should be indulgent, self-indulgent your entire life. But I think in your 20s, you have a little bit more time
and money, and money,
and even now you have money in the sense that more disposables technically because you're older. But at the same time, it's like more time. Like you could not catch me. I don't know the last time I've been in a salon to get my hair done.
But it was also in our 20s for those who are watching this, talking about Candace and self-care and love and acceptance. Because one of the things that I think I learned late 20s, early 30s is that it wasn't just because some of the self-care and keeping of my sisters was not just, hey girl, are we looking good? But then it came to, how are you feeling? What are you thinking? And it was also in our relationship and sisterhood that when I was stressing about some things that I had that were unresolved in my past, in my childhood and teenage years, you were also the very first sister in my life that encouraged me to go to therapy. Coming up in church, that was a no-no or was not encouraged, even though you were like, hey, we're going to church and praising the Lord and getting our prayers and praise on. Yeah. But you got some good insurance, take advantage of it and make that appointment. So I think one reason why I wanted you to be a part of this impromptu conversation is because a lot of the self-care that I learned, or a lot of the self-love and self-acceptance that has and continues to guide me, because, now we're in our 50s and I'm like, the menopausal, the insomnia, the mind is racing. And, what I did in my 20s and 30s does not apply, and I'm trying, that's one reason I was like, am I loving myself enough? And it's like, let me have this conversation openly, like we would on the phone, and be like, girl, I think I'm kind of a little right now. Like, I'm not sure. Now I've been trying, women of a certain age, it's like one of the things that I've been trying to do is be quiet, be safe during the, this pandemic and trailing off, thank God we both survived that. At the same token, I feel, like I said, I've been very much a hermit. And I think I'm concerned about myself in the regards of, I think that because I do like to be alone a lot, as you know, except when I'm out and there's like, hey, Christy's on. But I'm trying to work through beyond the hair, nails, exfoliation of the body, skin cream stuff. I'm really concerned about myself in regards to there's a part of me that doesn't want to get back out. And not from a, like, I have to get back out, but it's like, I think I'm trying to shake something off, and I'm trying to identify what that is. Is it a little tinge of depression? Am I feeling?
When you are grieving, let's call a thing a thing.
Girl, you better make me cry.
You are grieving, and I think this is where you are truly, again, your sister's keeper when you call the truth, and you're honest with love. It's like, well, I just shoot from the hip, and I'm just going to say, no, choose your words. What is it? A word in due season. That's what that scripture to me says. It's like, that's probably not the way you want to say that. So let's remember, you are grieving, and you are allowed to not want to be bothered with a lot of people.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Thank you, Francine.
That's self-care, deciding what you don't. So we talked about, we got started on the hair and nails. And yes, that's something that, imagine, that's something that is one of the things on your list. Yeah. Another thing could be you journal. That's self-care. So
Yeah, I do.
you do practice self-care. You might decide Netflix and chill is self-care. Whether because it's like I'm coming home. It's giving yourself something to look forward to. I'm coming home. I'm gonna have me something good to eat, and I'm gonna watch this new. The Harder They Fall is on today.
Oh, okay. For
So
me, it's not even coming home because I've been working at home. It's literally me unplugging and
absolutely
and like one of my younger baby sisters, Cassandra Barrett, who the sister of one of my dearest friends, Keith Barrett Jr., who passed last year. She has now been checking on me. She'll be like, get offline, like log off. So even she definitely has been a sister keeper, and because I have to say thank you for acknowledging the fact, as you have been for the last couple of months, like reminding me, like, Christy, what you're feeling is grief. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. Give myself grace. And I have to say that one of the things that I struggle with, and Mom was my keeper on, is that I don't buy groceries.
Yeah.
So even now it's like, oh, I need to go grocery shopping, and Cassandra's like, girl.
Yeah.
Is like, I was like, well, Mom used to even though yes, I'm all the way grown, but she would make sure, because I get into a rhythm, and I sometimes in my brilliant mind, in the way my Einstein mind works, I'll forget the common everyday stuff.
Then you need to put it on a calendar.
Yeah.
When you in so much of
but make sure we don't burn your food. I know you're not gonna let
baby. One of the things that I flipped it everything, so it's cool. But one of the things you have to remind is like, okay, I gotta do this, so it's keeping some kind of, here's the thing, if you don't have groceries, you won't eat, right?
And the thing is, but that's part of the problem, because I will get into a rhythm till then I'll be like, oh, now I'm hungry, and I'll go in there and like, oh, I ain't hardly got nothing. Or, you have, okay, let me say it like this. You'll have part of a meal, but you don't have everything to make the full meal. Like, oh man, I don't have the spaghetti sauce to cook this spaghetti with the, I was like, oh wow, I forgot that. Or, I got the sauce and the meat, but I forgot to get the rest of the spaghetti. So stuff like that. It's like, ugh. And then I'm like, okay, I'll just eat these crackers and then go back to, doing whatever I was doing. She said, what did she just say?
Journal your food.
Yes, I can definitely do that once I Instacart, because actually they're not Instacart. So it's like, I just need to make that happen.
So going back, keeping in line, and Michelle is actually a great person to
Michelle Obama?
Michelle Williams.
Yes.
Because she's overcoming her depression, and she dropped that fiance. That was a weight.
Let's talk about the weight of the world that you talked about earlier can look like a lot of different things. And I know in this moment, and I will go ahead and say, yes, I am definitely grieving the passing of my beloved mother, my friend, the one who, filled up a big space of my life. And I and for that, I'm grateful for her long life. I'm grateful for her peaceful passing and transition. I'm grateful for the love that surrounds me through you and others. Thank you. And I'm grateful for the fun and loving memories that we have that does hold me and keep me in a state of peace and gratitude. So with that being said, I will say that the weights that we have that also extend beyond the ones that we love, that will pass on in transition, whether it's through death or moving away. But then there are certain relationships that are weights on us that we need to let be released, that are toxic, that are unhealthy. I think, I will say that I think between me and you, we've successfully exercised, or what is it? The exorcism, whatever that is. A lot of people, yes.
Excised.
Yes. Good. Quite a few people out of our lives who were not for our good. Yeah, I think our late 40s, early 50s.
Yeah.
I think there's a chapter or a season of your life. We're not saying that some women never get it. Some women don't get it into their 60s and 70s, and they maintain lifelong toxic relationships. But I think that even in our sisterhood, we redefined certain areas because, back in the day, girl, remember, girl had them $300 and $400 phone bills when we were talking literally all day at the office. Oh, we had a lot to say though. But now it's like, hey, but some people would literally fall out if we were no longer talking every day. Like there's relationships and friendships, people have literally ended their sisterhood because she don't talk to me no more. It's like, no, she doesn't talk to you all day anymore. Because of, like you said, in our 20s, we had more, not only disposable money, but it was disposable time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm grateful, and I'll say it in this moment, I'm grateful for that we survived a lot of those milestones that certain friendships don't pan out past. Not that we ain't had our little spats, Lord Jesus.
I mean, the thing about it is, this is all relevant. We were having those conversations over and over about the same dang old thing. The same god dang old person. It's like, you need to cut it. You need to cut it. And it's like, and we're going to have this conversation again about the same person. And I was just thinking.
And I have to say that even if those people surface, do we ever bring them up? And then I'm like, girl, did I tell you that they reached out? And it'd be like months later, because it's like, not
they
even
surface in your life. They can't get in touch with me.
Well, yeah, that's
because once I cut it and you blocked, it's like, oh no. And I think that's part of the reason why I have such a peaceful. It's like I don't take for granted the fact that I am pretty much at peace. If you don't hear me pretty much talking about any relationship,
unless you run across them out and about, you'll be like,
and
girl,
I'll be like, girl, what's his name again? Because what I just saw so and so. I seriously do not remember the person. What am I pretty much having conversations about? Decorating, plants, money, how to make more money. It's like, but I'm not having a conversation about someone that did not bring me joy.
Or partial joy.
Either or.
Yeah.
Partial joy, it's not enough. You know what I'm saying?
What did Anita Baker say? You bring me joy. It's like not enough joy. That's Francine.
No. I mean, because my priorities are different and what I require. So yes, that's and it's this. Well, let me say this: it's men and women.
That's what I'm saying. There are certain relationships. Because I don't put gender on toxic relationships. I don't say only men. I don't, that I'm romantically, because I have to communicate in the world that we in. Okay, can I say this real quick side note? If I get one more application or a social media platform that wants me to use my pronouns, I'm like, really? He, she, her, him, them, us. Yeah. Okay, that's side note, but I get it. I'm open to it, but I'm like, Jesus, does not even have to be identified, but I guess it does. But that's not
for those that need it. So it does. So we're under the umbrella because we would not want to be assumed. So it does for those that need to
be identified.
So it's like, well, we just have
thank you for that, Francine. Not that it was a stressor, but it was like, that's kind of annoying because I have not engaged mentally. But then again, that's part of my detachment from a lot of mainstream conversations. I'll say it like that. I have been definitely in a very personal loop in the last 12 to 24 months that has not included a lot of current commentary. There is so because that's the way, then that has been a big way that I've been loving on myself, because I have not been able to really since 2019 to process a lot of mass hysteria that's out in the world. So one of the main ways that I truly do love on myself is I do unplug a lot from that. But being in media, being a person who was in media for so long, I do understand that we have moved into an age of misinformation and yellow journalism till it sometimes irks me on a deep, deep level when I see the manipulation of media. So that, and it's not so much the information, but it's just how masterfully they are manipulating the minds of people through media, both traditional and social. So even if in this moment we're using a social media platform to communicate self-care, self-love, my sister's keeper that's coming up this Saturday, Michelle Williams is the keynote speaker. Go to the website that's scrolling across the bottom, buy your $25 ticket. A lot of great lineup conversations. Me and Francine, my girl, who I've known since my 20s, we're just having a very candid conversation. And I told her I was going to do about 15, 20 minutes, and I think we hit 30 minutes, and her food is not going to burn because of me. And anything, okay, so I think, thank you. Number one, thank you, Francine. Without this phone, without even having a phone call, you just reminded me, Christy, what you're feeling is grief. What I'm feeling is grief.
Yeah. And the self-care is the self-care that I would advocate as your keeper is to give yourself grace.
And to watch more Netflix. How did they fall tonight?
Watch Netflix, whatever it is that brings you joy partially and fully.
Well, the partial joy would be some Twizzlers. The full joy would be a good nap and The Harder They Fall with Idris Elba and Regina King.
Yeah, I mean, it's that's really what it's about, having these conversations.
Thank you,
Fran. A lot of times, especially in the age of COVID, where we are still, I was coming home today, and I'm not going to get into anti-vax or vax, but I saw just these throngs of people, only Royal Oak, my body, this is not about, and it's like, okay, so if you don't want to do that, what are you going to do to keep yourself healthy? Because Michelle Obama said move, and a whole lot of people still aren't moving. So you're looking for, you still owe yourself accountability and responsibility to keep yourself healthy. And what does that look like? And that's going to look different for everybody. I said, as I'm moving into 30 pounds, because I got about
because you did say you picked up weight during the pandemic, and can you speak to why and what you're doing now as we get to wrap up?
It for me, first of all, I am an extrovert. I like to be out. I like to be out. However, I'm selective about where I go, but I couldn't go anywhere. Everything was closed. People were dying around me, so I was triggered. And just the uncertainty caused me, I couldn't sleep. So I'm eating Lucky Charms at 2, 3 in the morning, and I'm up around the clock, literally wound up by the news, by death, by the uncertainty. How long is this going to last, So I just disconnected from my own health goals, as far as, because I had lost weight and then I picked up weight. Then I wasn't driving. I didn't have a car.
So your car had messed up right before that. Yeah.
My transmission died in August of 2019. So I was like, okay, I'm working from home, but I still needed to get out. But I wasn't trying to be in an Uber all day wearing a mask to get everywhere. And it was just not costly. I mean, it was just not feasible. It didn't make sense. So this year, of course, you have those times where it's like, whoa. And then I'm chilling. Now my calf tams swimming. I'm swimming in them. I keep shifting it because I got I can fit my sports bra. I couldn't even fit my sports bra. But I had to. So this is what I decided, because I've got a ways to go for me. But what I decided is, it's not just physical weight, that it's a wholeness journey. It's not a wellness journey. It's a wholeness journey. I'm not going to drink potions and take a lot of pills and whatnot. And nope, I know what to do. My girlfriend says, girl, you the Janet Jackson. You going to get the weight off.
You Janet Jackson and Will Smith.
You will gain that weight and lose that weight. But I don't want to keep doing that, because it's not good for me. Right. But at the same time, I've decided I am going to have joy right now. Not when I get this size, or no, I'm going to be, but I had to start somewhere, because I was not like in the moment of joy where it's like, okay, I've gained this weight and I feel happy. No, I was pissed. I was mad. I was angry. I was disappointed. I was frustrated. But I knew none of those things were going to, I had to shift.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started walking. And then I started, I just had to shift. And that's what happened. I shifted. And once you take, it started with a step. And then I took another step and then another step. And then they became action steps. Like, okay, I'm walking. Now let's pay attention to what you're eating. Pay attention to, you got to get outside, get some air, And
then you got your car and you really like, whoa.
Oh, baby, got my car. And then I got my car and and what happened is I was trying to get my other car fixed, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what happened was I just heard, get what you want. Now, it's not a Maserati, but it is, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, but it was like, wait a minute, but do you need a Maserati right now or do you need to get around? And I remember waking up Mother's Day weekend and I just heard God say, get what you want. And I went online that night because I had been doing Carfax and it was like, okay. And I got my car. So now it's like, you need me to take you somewhere? I mean, girl, I'll drive, but I'm just so fortunate that I am mobile. So that was a big part of
the psychological part and being able to identify that part of yourself. Because while I didn't gain weight, I did lose a little weight. The bigger thing for me was really keeping myself hydrated a lot. Like I said, because I always have to remind myself, slow down, go eat, go drink, because I'm so in my head. But I'm really appreciative for you being my sister's keeper for these 30 plus years. And thank you for the impromptu.
Sure.
Virtual conversation.
Well, thank you, because girl, now I can see how it's gonna look on my show. It's like, girl, like, good God.
That's right. So when you pretty much resume the Francine Walker show, you already know pretty much what your set's gonna look like. Your virtual set.
I like change up the plants and stuff.
Right. Okay. Wow. Well, shout out to everybody who hung out with us. Gigi, Nicole Gates, those are the ones. I mean, let's see, who else did I see over there? Definitely appreciate everybody just showing us love. Brenda Marie Stewart, thank you. Thank you so much.
Again. What
okay.
The marketing, how do we do it?
Okay, so getting to the marketing of it all, Saturday, November the 6th, 2021, the 4th annual My Sister's Keeper virtual summit. They're checking in at 10 a.m. They have the program and keynote speaker, 11 o'clock at breakout sessions. For those who are interested in being a part, all you have to do is go to the website that is scrolling across the bottom, which is events.methodisthealth.org/MSK, events.methodisthealth.org/MSK. And I want to say again, Francine, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome, my dear.
All right, so now I'm about to shift and change and get ready to well, first of all, maybe what time is it? Do I have time to go grab a bite to eat? Because since I'm talking about
it's 4:01 my time and
3:01 your time, my time. Okay, so that means I don't have time to go grab lunch, but I do have time to do a quick change and get ready for Take the Christy Taylor Show Day. I love you.
Love you too, baby. I'll see you.
All right. Bye-bye.